It's hard to imagine a Chinese celebration without dumplings. Not only are these parcels delicious, they're also a symbol of unity as people come around a table to make them together. In this episode of Soul Food, CGT and Sterile Tan sits down with two brothers who found their way into the food world through a love for dumplings.
The beauty of this is seeing sort of the contours of the cocoon, and you actually do see the imprints of the finger. Who makes the better dumpling?
Oh, we are not from China, and so we have to navigate and learn our place in this culture as well, being Americans and still being Chinese at the same time.
This is Soul Food, an American journey through the Chinese kitchen. I'm Gerald Tan, and right now I'm getting a masterclass in dumplings, or 饺子.
Gosh, this is... you'd be able to tell exactly who made this one.
The camera just loves Chicago, starting with that skyline framed by the sparkling waters of Lake Michigan. The buildings pull you right in. From the tallest, the Willis Tower, to the oldest, the Rookery, and every cloud-touching skyscraper in between. Then there's Cloud Gate, affectionately called the Bean, a stainless steel sculptured beauty that's nothing short of a social media darling. But to really get a pulse of the city and its diverse cultural makeup, one has to venture into the neighborhoods. I find myself in Ukrainian Village, not for the many shops selling Eastern European pierogi dumplings, but one offering traditional Chinese dumplings. This is the story of an old friend, 老朋友.
Dumpling making 101.
Yeah.
All right, tell me what I need to do.
Start with a wrapper.
Yeah. I kind of like keeping the wrapper like at the tips of your fingers. You don't want to handle it too much.
All right. How much filling do you put in?
You have to.
I've got two.
My dad famously says, be generous, but don't overstuff. But,
Okay.
You'll seal it at the top and lightly seal everything around.
Tuck this one further down below. Yes. Very good.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right there. You be aware of the filling.
Yes.
And then give it a squeeze.
Hugging
Gongxi,
it.
gongxi.
Gongxi, gongxi, yeah, there you go, right? So, who taught you how to make dumplings?
Nai.
Yeah, our nana did.
And your nai is your grandmother.
Grandma, yeah.
On our dad's side.
And is this her recipe then?
No.
Oh?
I've watched Nai my whole life and really worked off of smells and taste and memory of how everything felt and looked, and just that's how we built this, really.
Has she tasted your dumplings?
Not long ago, yeah. We went to visit.
And what did she think?
She really was impressed.
She liked it. She said we've studied, which is true, which is very true. It was very nerve-wracking. That was, for us, I think that was the peak of my cooking career.
Yeah.
Let's start with the wrapper. Okay, how do you get this beautiful silky texture?
Oh, that
It's proprietary.
There's some secrets. There's some secrets. That's right. And I mean, if our nine-eye wouldn't tell us, we gotta keep it tight too. then serve it in boiling hot broth as well.
And then what's in that broth?
Combination of soy sauces, vinegars, chilies, cilantro, sesame seeds, a lot of things. There's a whole,
Yeah.
the whole kitchen's in there.
How did you get into food?
So I would say we're half Chinese and half Jewish. And Danny looks more Chinese and I look more Jewish. You know, as a kid, I was always confused about it because we were surrounded by Chinese people. And so Chinese food became a way for me to identify with the culture. And in addition to that, I started cooking because I worried that we wouldn't be able to eat our family's food forever, you know, and I have a lot of cousins. We got a lot of cousins, and so we want to feed them as well and keep our family, the taste of our family going.
Me, I mean, the standout of this place is just seeing all these photographs. What inspired you to do that, first of all?
This shows where we come from. This shows who we are.
It's the whole story because it goes back also to the family in Hong Kong or a family in New York on my mother's side. There's one up here where my mother is learning to make jiaozi from my nai from the first time in Hong Kong.
Every culture, it seems, has some kind of dumpling. The Italians do raviolis, the Turks do manti, this whole idea of meat in dough. How do you know you're having a Chinese dumpling?
Oh, that's a great question. Textures. I think textures have a lot to do with it. I think that dumpling wrapper, a Chinese wrapper, you can steam, you can boil, you can fry, but it needs to be delicate.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people can make fillings, but the wrapper is true art. You know?
Yes.
Do you think just the ritual of making dumplings, because it's so social, because it brings people together, has made it such a fixture in sort of all the Chinese festivals?
Sure, and not only in Chinese festivals, as you were saying earlier, every culture seems to have a dumpling. I think you're right, it makes sense. There's the making of it, the cooking of it, and then the enjoying, and all of it requires a village to do, you know, so.
Yes, that's the truth.
Yeah.